social media actually worth your time? In this video, I'm going to talk about this question because it is an interesting question, isn't it? A lot of us are on social media, but is it really worth your time? Let's get started. If we haven't met before, my name is Beatriceyakubu. I'm the founder of Simply Family Business, and I help you become visible online with your business, of course, so that you can attract more customers, make more sales and more money, and indeed without really stressing about your business. Let's get started with, I would say, 5 or more, depending on how I feel as we share or as I share along. Now, social media, is it worth your time? The reason I ask this question is that a lot of people are actually struggling when it comes to social media, and especially for business owners. They are struggling to the extent that they often have this question at the back of their mind. All this I'm doing, is that even how I should run a business? Is that even the only place that I can grow my audience? Is that the only place that I can grow my business? Now, I'm going to share some of the reasons why I feel that you have to find a way of making social media work for you if it's not already doing so. Number one is the fact that the sheer numbers on social media makes it imperative that you be online. Why? Facebook alone, 3 billion, I think, nearly 3 billion, and that is what 1/3 of the world population on Facebook. What this means is that if you are in business, a business owner is to be able to find people who are interested in what you have to sell, because business is what? Providing something for someone to meet their needs in return for money. If you are having a business, for example, brick and mortar, businesses used to grow without that kind of networking online. But now, because of how life is, how things have evolved, with us not even having time to go out or just kind of hanging out for hanging out's sake, a lot of people are using their phones. They are forever on their mobile phones. In fact, it is said that 99%, of people who are on social media are using their phone. Now, if you think about the mobile phone coverage, almost the whole world, apart from certain parts of the developing countries, and they are catching up really, really fast. So in order for you to be a part of the trend, you need to use social media so that you can attract the people. I can't even tell you the number of people that I have attracted to myself for just being online. It's really impressive, I would say, if you are on social media for the right reasons. I know that for some people it's a struggle because you are going on social media and comparing yourself to other people and feeling down about it. You know what? If you know what you are doing on social media, you really don't have any problem, because you are going on there to do what you have to do to grow your business. That's it. It is a socializing platform, but that is also for, shall I say, 95% of people. But if you are the 5% who are looking to use social media differently, obviously there are massive opportunities there for you. I think that was the latter part of last year. One of the clients that we had does a diversity and inclusion, and just we hadn't started with her for long. It was just I think about 2 months down the lane, just posting for her on social media, that somebody reached out to her and said, "Oh, we see what you're doing, XYZ. Can we have a conversation?" Now, if you see her account, and I think that I'm just trying to address this issue of sometimes when we are looking for what they call the vanity metrics, when you are looking for the likes and the comments and it's not happening, and you think that it's not actually happening for you. It is happening. So this story I'm sharing is just to buttress that point. she eventually got a contract to educate these people on diversity and inclusion. And this company doesn't have, it doesn't just have one segment. They have lots of different outlets in the United States. And for that reason, she's having the opportunity to train everyone regarding what she does. So just by committing to post, because what I think or what I see is the fact that the time commitment is very, very difficult for a lot of entrepreneurs. But when you commit to it, guess what? The reward is unbelievable. So the share numbers on social media alone. So let me just, I've mentioned about Facebook also. YouTube, for example, has over 2 billion, Instagram 2 billion, and then the rest of them, I think TikTok is also going over 1 billion. Like if you see the share numbers of people, you want to be at a place where there are people, obviously. And because there are people there, if you connect with the right people, you are going to certainly get the right results. That's number one. Number two is the fact that people are judging you, your business, based on what is going on social media. And I'm not saying this based off your how many likes you have, how many followers you have. You could have few followers and they would be your dream followers who would actually interact with you or who would want to know more about what you do. I think I've shared this already before, but even for people who are looking for jobs, people are looking to see who you are online, and who you are online matter to a lot of organizations these days. When my daughter was applied for school during lockdown for sixth form, a sixth form which is far away from where we were, because she wanted to do a digital media course, and so we had to do lots of online search until we found the school. So during the interview, she had a job. She was accepted, and as they started the school, one day they were teaching about branding and marketing, and the teacher asked a question. She did not raise her hand, and the teacher said, "I'm sure you have the answer." And she said, she was baffled. And then the teacher just said that, we check you guys online before we give you admission, and we saw that you had you do website for people, and you do branding, and you do social media. It was just, yeah, nice for her. For her, it would have been embarrassing for her to hear that with her colleagues. But just to know that you are actually being watched, that's the word I want you to understand, that you are being watched, and unfortunately you are being judged as well. Your business is being judged by what you do online. And that also goes to say that even if you're a business owner, sometimes there are certain things that you shouldn't do online, because obviously, because you are being watched and you are being judged, you need to kind of present yourself accordingly to represent your business, so to speak. So when you discuss with somebody about business, recently we attended a business conference with, a lady who was mentored by Michelle Obama. It was really nice to be in her presence, and she was talking about branding. Your branding is very important, because when people go online and they find that there's nothing there about you, it is so questionable. If you say or you do all X, Y, Z, and then they go online and you are not even posting anything, that's the only way that people will know, or people can tell what you are saying is actually true, because they haven't met you. Remember, we are in the online space. So being on social media also gives your business that opportunity for you to showcase to people what you know about your industry, and that is quite powerful. The third point is that the marketing statistics actually shows that social media works. If you look at statistics, I think it's Obelo, which is very, very a company that pull out all these data. It is staggering when you see the number of data that is kind of pointing to the fact that social media is on the rise. It's not stopping. And for those of us who are from the third world country, developing countries, I would urge us in the diaspora to learn about this, because when you learn it, it's easier. You can then teach other people. And one of my cousins I was speaking to the other time is nearly 70 and she's still working. And it was exciting to speak to her, knowing that she's still working. But she is doing, her work involved her going to see people. And I was just thinking, can you imagine if you learn about the internet? Guess what? She could just sit in her room and actually do her consultation. She doesn't have to go anywhere. How cool is that? I think it's pretty cool, and I can't wait to be able to get other people to understand this concept and to just learn it. 85% of American marketers, for example, says that social media actually is worth their time. Now, if you think about marketers, these are people who value their time and who do testing a lot. So, people don't just send out a campaign for nothing. They send out a campaign and they actually look at the data. What is it telling them about whatever campaign that they're running? And if 85% of them are saying that it is actually positive, guess what? It is positive. Otherwise, these are people who are spending good money on Facebook, who are spending good money on YouTube to attract clients, and it's working for them. So that should tell you and me that it is worth our time. The fourth point I would talk about is that if at this point you are thinking, I'm still struggling, so how is it going to be worth my time? The question you should be asking yourself is, do you have the skills to do it? Do you have the skills to actually bring your business to life online? Because that's very important. If you don't have the skills, I think there used to be an advert with iPhone. Before iPhone started to make different variations of iPhone, they used to say, if you don't have an iPhone, you don't have an iPhone. Because I think it was to say that at that point, Samsung was making all variations of Samsung phones, and they would just say, if you don't have an iPhone, you don't have an iPhone. You used to be one. What I'm trying to say is that if you don't have the skills to do social media, you don't have the skills. But the good news is that anything is learnable. Everything is learnable. So you can learn social media whether you're young, old. In fact, I have a friend who is in her 70s and she wants me to teach her how to do social media. How cool is that? Because she has seen that in order for her to continuously become, what's the word? She says relevant, but in my opinion, I don't want to use the word relevant. In order for her to stay on trend, that's the right word, she would need to know a lot more about social media than she does now, just for friends and family. So do you have the skills? If you don't, you can learn. You can learn from YouTube, you can learn from podcasts, you can learn from blog posts, but of course, you can also learn from mentors like myself. Last but not the least is that you can outsource. So you can learn it or you can outsource. Now, in terms of outsourcing, I'm of the opinion that if you want to outsource your social media, it is better for you to know a little bit. It's just what it is. Because if you don't know a little bit about what you want, number one, it is quite difficult for people, the one that you're outsourcing to know what you want. And let me share an example. When I started, I was told to outsource my social media side of things. I did outsource, but guess what? I spent a lot of money and I did not get anything in return. And sometimes even the followers I got were actually fake followers, some of them. And I had to redo things again as we went along because, sometimes when you outsource to the wrong person, they want, again, this point of vanity matrix. Everybody wants to see that. Oh, how many followers did I get last month? How many likes and comments did I get? But they don't think about the actual concept of social media, which is just the real connection with people. So if you don't know these things and you just outsource, guess what? sometimes people get their accounts actually banned or shadow banned. So you don't want that to happen to you. And that is the reason why you need to know at least a little bit for yourself, so that when you're outsourcing to somebody, you can tell them, I want X, Y, Z, because you're speaking from the point of you having the knowledge. That is it with regards to this question, is social media worth your time? The conclusion is that absolutely 100% is worth your time. You just need to invest in the right way for you to be able to make it work for you. Thank you so much for listening to me. And I would urge you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so before. Like the video, comment on it, and indeed, I will come your way once again another time. Take care.